All right, I was just noticing I got it set up to where all my Bibles are and they share the same selection. In other words, no matter what I'm selecting here, it's going to highlight that same selection in the other Bibles. And I got that going on with these as well. If any selection I make, it highlights in the other Bibles. All right, if you don't know how to do that, just go to the top where those three dots are. You want to connect them all like that. You just want to hit corresponding selection. Right there, corresponding selection. And that will link together all the selections in all your Bibles that have that same selection checked. They all have to have this checked in their Bibles, of course. But if all your Bibles have corresponding selection checked, then when you go like this, it will highlight those in all your Bibles. All right, so there you go with that. But my point of this video was, wouldn't it be nice that if I finally find a word that I'm looking for over here, say the word inheritance, and I'm looking for this little area right here and I'm highlighting it, wouldn't it be neat that if I colored this right here, and I was coloring that area to make a note on that area, or make a note just on the lema in that area, that it would color everything. Like all this would be colored the same way in all the Bibles that I'm using, right? So that was just something that came across my head. I was like, that would be neat if that happened. So, okay, I highlighted that word, but it's not highlighted in the other Bibles. And you can see that it's not highlighted in these Bibles over here as well. It's not highlighted there either. I was just thinking, that would be neat. I'm not saying it'd be easy to do. I'm not saying a lot of people would need to get it done, but that would be neat. What would be also neat is if I find a root lema word now, the lema word, because I know they're slightly different in their English translations. They might have the same lema word. To make a note on the lema word would be really cool. Just picking that one particular word, if it's in all the other Bibles. In other words, if you can select something in this and it appears in the other books, that you would be able to highlight that and possibly make a note on that and have it all connect by note as well. So if I wanted to make a note on the word land here, I could select that as long as it's in the other books, which it is there, and it's on the other ones as well, on the other monitors. Then you should be able to make a note on that. Let's see, right click, so you could add a note down here. No, they're not letting you add a note to that right now, but you could easily go up to a note and add it to a note if you had a note that was open. So let's say we have a note open and we want to add the highlighted text to that. Boom. Now we're going to put a note on that right there on the word land, and you can see that note right there, and it's tied just to that lema word. Just to that word. Wouldn't it be cool that it would possibly put a note on that lema word, on that word in all your other Bibles? In other words, all these words over here that have the same word land in it, like right here, that it would actually have that same note on that word. The reason why it would tie together is because it would be tying to the lema. And when you do individual words in your English Bibles, it doesn't tie to it because the English words don't always link to the lema or of the Greek or the Hebrew. So it'd be an idea that would only tie to the root original language behind the translation. So that means that word would have to be in all the other Bibles exactly the way it is, at least the lema part of it. That would be neat. Some other things I was looking at here is in the collection part. When we're making our collections, I noticed that I was going to try to consolidate some of these collections that I have. For instance, I'll give you an example. In my favorites tab here, I've got Bibles in different languages. For instance, right here, let's take a look at it. I just labeled this favorites folder, Bibles, other languages. I got a Latin folder with 1, 2, 3, 4. I just call this one Torah Tanakh. There's 1, 2, 3 in that. And then we have this one strand right here, which is an Aramaic. And I'm sure there's others. There's Spanish and other things out there. But this is my 3 that I'm dealing with right now. And when I went to the collections, I've got them stored in the Tanakh. I got the Tanakh one here. And I've also got the one for Latin. If I type in Latin up here, I can find my Latin collection that I personally made myself so I can access them quickly. There's those 4. So you see those 4 here and those 3 in the other one. I want to put them all together in just one big folder called Bibles, Other Languages, and tie them all together. So these 4, these 3, this one. And if I wanted to add Spanish later, that's fine. So I was wondering, I wonder if I can come up here and actually like copy this, like right click, copy, and then I would copy a collection that would already have those books in it. So I could just be a whole lot quicker to consolidate and to add. I don't really want to get rid of this Latin folder, guys. I'm not trying to get rid of this Latin folder. I'm trying to just add it to another folder. I want each one of these to be separate: Latin, Torah, Spanish, Aramaic. I want separate collections, but I also want to consolidate and copy them into a larger collection called Other Languages. which will include the Latin, the Hebrew, the Spanish, the Aramaic, all in one collection, instead of manually starting a brand new one like new and just literally typing in other languages here and just starting brand new. I could do that, no problem, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But it would be nice if I could start off, there's my other, with go ahead and copying one of these that already have a good portion of those books already in it. And I wouldn't have to, it's a time saver. It really is. It's a time saver. So that's another idea, 3 ideas on this video right here. Let's go back over and recoup what they are. If we're in this and we're highlighting something over here, it'd be nice to, when we color it and have it affect the rest of our Bibles. In other words, if I was coloring something over here, it'd be nice to have it color the rest of them in other books. Also, only on the lemma of the Greek or Hebrew, if I was adding a note to the lemma word that happens to be linking in that same selection tool in other books, that when I add the note to this lemma word, it will add that same note to the other lemma words in the other Bibles. Just kind of like how you do when you add to a verse. If I were to add a note to this verse right here, verse 15, it would add a note to all the 15s. 1 Samuel 15:1. It just like that, but yet with the lemma words, right? That's the thing. And then finally, consolidation and copying the collections right here so that we can easily consolidate and duplicate things for purposes of expansion and things like that. That would be neat to have. So God bless you guys. I hope these videos are helping. Don't forget to subscribe and always remember to thank God. Peace.